if nobody gives you anything, they can't take anything away from you. He was like, if you're
Mm.
doing it for the Lord, your reward is in heaven. Your reward is the lives of people that are being changed listening to your music. And that conversation completely reframed how I looked at music, and I shared it with my sisters. And the next year,
coming live on your radio,
What they want,
that real and raw.
how they get it,
DJ Focus,
what we doing,
making music, reaching the corner, and it's all for the
and
kingdom.
we gon' make sure they know it.
Ooh, 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 we gon' take it there. I like red letters over trap beats to fix it, saying, ooh, DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh, DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh.
Welcome back. DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You tap into the Fixx, your number one source of faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. It's time for our spiritual detox. We got a special one for y'all today. When I tell you, we have been blessed in our space to have some prolific singers, songwriters who have been doing some powerful things for a long time, and we have one on with us right now. She's making new music. It's a whole new vibe. I'm excited to have a great conversation with the one and only Lisa Nicole. What's going on, sis?
hi. How are you doing? I'm well, thank you.
I am doing good. So, I got a lot to talk with you about. Love
Let's
the
go.
journey. I have been following you for a while. For those who may not know Lisa Nicole, let's go back.
Okay.
Talk about, the group, of course,
Yes.
Out of Eating. Talk about how that came about and how you even got into music.
Absolutely. So, Out of Eden, for those of you that don't know, we are sisters, blood sisters, not just sisters. And we grew up between Ohio and Richmond, Virginia. And while we were in Richmond, my mom would have us be her backup singers. She would have us go out and like evangelize with her and pass out tracts. And she heard that there was a record label in Nashville looking for a girl group. And she moved our family to Nashville, got a job at Fixx, directing the Fixx Jubilee Singers, and basically was like, believed in the call of God, like believed in what God had put inside of us. So we started doing talent shows. We danced for different Christian artists. And then one time we did this talent show in Nashville that Jamie Foxx was hosting. It was all like literally all like gangster rap. Like I would not have been allowed to go to this show had I not been singing at this show. And at that show, we met this lady, Lisa Jordan, who connected us with DC Talk, who, for those of you that remember, DC Talk was like the biggest thing in Christian music. We sang for them. And then 2 years later, Toby started a production company, Goatee Productions. And my mom, who was like acting as our momager, was like, okay, you can sign the girls if you take them on tour with DC Talk. So at the age of 12 and 13 and 18 through 13 through 18, my sisters and I went on a 65 city arena tour with no parents, just a road manager and us. And, I had our 10 minutes, on stage in front of thousands of people. And that was the birth of Out of Eden.
Talk about that a little bit more, though. What was it like being famous that early? So, like, I love how you humbly just said that 13 to 18, we just went on the road. And these crowds were probably 10,000 or more. I can just imagine.
Oh my, it was so scary. Like it was so scary because, it was just us. Nobody knew who we were. We would just walk onto we get introduced, we walk onto the stage and have to like win a crowd of thousands over. And then we'd go after the show, we'd go to where we were signing our picture and like nobody really came up to us. So we would just be talking to each other, like surprised if somebody wanted an autograph. And I thank God for those humble beginnings. Because it really taught us what our purpose was, because it was really easy to kind of want to quit. But it taught us, that we have a greater purpose. And I think, but it was difficult, especially my sister Danielle, like she spent her entire teenage years and young adult years as a role model. And it's like, what do you know at 13? What did I know at 18? Like, sometimes I'll be like, Lord, I just want to apologize to everybody because what did I know? But it is, you know, a blessing because God is, you know, God is able to use young people and wants to use young people. But you do lose a bit of your freedom. You have to be in the spotlight. You feel the pressure to be perfect and to be kind of on all the time. And those are things that, you know, we had to kind of work out in our adult years. Like, man, I missed a lot of my teenage years. I missed a lot of that. And but God is faithful. We have great people in our lives that, you know, we talk to and that minister to us. And we did as Out of Eden as well. So, you know, it wasn't like it was a good thing, but those were like some of the like, you know, things that were difficult.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned you grew up around the Ohio area. What part of Ohio were you from?
So we were all born in Oberlin, Ohio. So
Oberlin, Ohio.
outside of
Okay.
Cleveland. Yeah.
I'm born and raised Cleveland, Ohio. That's why I asked
Okay,
that.
what's up?
Yeah,
That's what's up.
small world. That is what's
Small
up.
world.
So, talk a little bit more about, you know, you guys, Out of Eden. Let's be very clear. You start winning Dove Awards. You get
Yes.
the Grammy nomination. What did that feel like from like putting in all this work? Like, walk us through that.
Yes. So, you know, it's funny. Like, I am a keep it real person. So I will tell you this: before we won the Dove Award, we were up for Dove Awards, and I think we were up for New Artist of the Year and maybe something for Window or River, something like that from our third record, and we didn't win. And I was devastated. Like, you know, you look back and you'd be like, why were you so mad? I was mad. I was salty. I was mad. I was hurt. And I remember calling my pastor, and I was outside of an after party. We're about to go into this after party, and I've got tears, and I'm, you know, like, it's just ridiculous. And, you know, I'm just on one. And he said, he listens and he says, okay. So is that what you're doing it for? And I was like, what? He was like, is that what you were doing it for? And I was like, no, he was like, okay, then what, you know, he was like, if nobody gives you anything, they can't take anything away from you. He was like, if you're doing it for the Lord, your reward is in heaven. Your reward is the lives of people that are being changed listening to your music. And that conversation completely reframed how I looked at music. And I shared it with my sisters. And the next year, we were throwing a party with Goatee Records, and we were literally not even at the Dove Awards, like not because we were, you know, boycotting or we weren't salty, but we just were busy doing something else. And they
Right.
call our name, and our manager's like, where are you guys? Are you here? And he had to accept the award on our behalf because there is this thing where obviously it matters. Obviously you care about it. Obviously, you know, you want to win, you want to get that recognition from your peers, but ultimately awards come and go, you know. And we just kind of were able to like put it in the proper perspective. But the Grammys now, I'm still working on getting that one in the I want one of them. I do. I can't lie. And going to the Grammys with my sisters was just an amazing experience. We got to see Paul McCartney, I think, perform that year. And, you know, it's just an amazing opportunity. So it was very cool.
Listen, I appreciate you sharing that, and our listeners will love that too as well, because sometimes we need to hear those music stories that only can be told by the people that really witnessed it in real time. Listen, something else that you did, I thought that was pretty epic. We had a great show, a lot of black sitcoms in the 90s that were really significant to our culture. You made a little cameo on Moesha.
We
Talk
did.
about that. What was that like when you met Brandy? Like, come on, talk about it.
Oh my gosh! Like I am a huge Brandy fan. Like huge,
everybody is.
Right, everybody is. She raised a whole generation of singers, and I love her. And so I don't remember how we got this opportunity, but we got it, and we were so excited. We walk into the set, and Brandy is standing there, and she looks up and she waves and she starts singing the intro to Lovely Day. And I think we all were just like, oh my God. And then she was like, come here. And she played us her answering machine, and Lovely Day was on her answering machine. So that was like really cool to, you know that our music had reached somebody of that caliber. That was really cool. Everybody on the show was just amazing. It's amazing to like have met Cheryl Lee Ralph and be on her show, and then watch Abbott Elementary with my daughter. Right. And, you know, it's just like, God is so good, and it's just like life. It's like if you just stay in it, you'll just see so many. You just get the opportunity to see cool things.
You guys didn't pitch to do a song with Brandy? Y'all ain't shoot y'all shot?
We did not shoot our shot. We
Okay.
didn't. We didn't. I want to though. Like I would.
Okay.
I'm scared. I'm nervous to sing with Brandy, but I would do it. I would do.
Lisa, you better take care of that little light work. You better take care of that little light work. Talk about the transition to this solo career.
Yes.
What embarked this? Like, for me, I'm thinking you guys had so much success. The sister group is working. What inspired you to go on a solo career?
So the interesting thing is we didn't leave or quit Out of Eden because I was going solo.
Okay.
I wish that I had jumped right into it, but we were, like we had been doing it at that point for 14 years, I guess, like traveling. We would do upwards of 250 shows a year. And I think we were just kind of tired. We felt like we had run our course or like done what God had called us to do. Also, it was like hard, like it wasn't easy. You don't really have much of a life. My sister Andrea was married and she had 2 kids, I think, and trying to like be a celebrity and a minister and have kids is, that was hard. So we just decided to like retire. And, we were young. So it was like we didn't, give a lot of notice. There was no Instagram for us to be like, hey, everybody. We were just like, okay, we're out. Like in retrospect, I wish that we had taken a little bit more time with it. I wish that we had maybe done a different type of off ramp, but we really were just like, okay, this was fun. Like we're good. I think God is done. And that's it. From there, my sister Andrea, who always wanted to be a nurse, she went to college and then went to nursing school, and now she's a pediatric NICU charge nurse at Vanderbilt Hospital.
Wow.
Danielle always wanted to do business, so she went into marketing, worked with E1, worked with lots of different places, and now she's an executive marketing director. And then I went into theater. Started doing theater, started doing hosting. I hosted for Gospel Music Channel, hosted a show with Dr. Bobby Jones.
I remember that.
Yeah. That was fun. Next Generation. Co-hosted Verizon Wireless, How Sweet the Sound with Donna Lawrence. And then like settled pretty firmly into motherhood. I just fell in love with my kid and just wanted to, just be the best mom I could be. And I would still write and sing, but I feel like things are seasonal, and you kind of like have a season for everything. But there was a point when I think I overstayed my season outside of music. And there was this, just this unrest in my soul. And that creative side of me, I think, was just like slowly dying. Like, oh my God, like what is happening? And so I spent like a lot of time in prayer and just trying to figure out, God, what is this? Like, why do I feel depressed? Why do I feel like something's missing? And I really think it was just that call and that purpose of God. It's like God gives you 5 talents. He doesn't want you to use 2 and bury the rest of them. He wants you to use all of them. And so I had to learn how to be brave and how to like, come back out after all that time. I'm thankful for my friend, Michael Anthony Taylor, who's the CEO of Dare Records, for giving me a home. And, it's very different. Like music now is very different from music then. So there's like a learning curve, like the industry rather, not music. There's a learning curve. And I just, had to just put myself out there again and kind of overcome fear and just go, okay, God, if this is what you want me to do, then you're going to bless it.
That's good. Listen, you just said something. Do you think music has changed for the better or the good since you have had the experience of doing music for a decent period of time?
Okay, so I don't want to sound like an old head and like, music, we always think that our music is better. I'll start with the positive. I think because you can have home studios because of social media. There's so much. There's a greater opportunity for artists to be seen. Before, you had to figure out how to get your demo to the right person at the right label, how to get them to listen to it. You had to have this big team. Now you can literally like make music, release it yourself, and have a ministry that people can hear about. So I think that is great. The flip side is you can be a legitimate singer songwriter, have something to say, but if you don't know how to promote yourself, if you don't know how to be on Instagram, if you don't want to do TikToks, which I don't, then it's difficult for you to get your music out there. It's difficult. I think labels, publishing companies, like everybody looks at your numbers. And so it's like there's more access, but at the same time, like to stand out is difficult. And I appreciate like a 4-minute song. I like a story. I think musically, like I'm like, what's next? Are we doing like 60-second songs, like 15-second songs? Like I feel like the trend is to adjust to the attention span of listeners, and instead of challenging people to have a greater listening attention span, I think we are catering to that attention span. And so that concerns me when it comes to telling a full story. Like I like a verse, I like 2 verses, I like a pre-chorus, I like a bridge. And now you've got a lot of just chorus and bridge songs that feel sometimes more about like just capturing an emotion and just getting to it than telling a story. And as a storyteller, I miss that.
Well, listen, keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
It's still an audience for you and the storytellers out there. So as a DJ, I'm telling you, I curate music all day. This is what I do. There is still a space for storytellers out there, and we do want to hear storytelling.
Thank
So
you.
come on, let's talk about some of your music. Definitely, let's talk about the inspiration behind some of these songs and personally what it meant to you. First song, Same God.
Same God. So at this time, I was really going through some tough situations in my life, and a friend, thank God for friends, sent me the song, and she was like, just listen to this song. And I had heard it before, but how things hit different, like depending on what you're going through. And I just was like, I love this song, and like I want to sing this song, like I want to minister through this song. And so decided to record it, and we released that in January of 2022, I think. And just wanted to like put more of a gospel like spin to it. And it's fun. I got to work with Aaron Lindsay, who I'm a huge fan of, with Israel and Marvin Sapp. So went out to LA and worked with him, and I think he did a phenomenal job.
Speak about that a little bit, working with super talented producers like that. Like, what's your creative process going into writing and putting together a whole song?
Yeah. So with this song, Aaron, he knows me from the CCM space. And so I think initially that's what he thought that I wanted. So the first version was more like in that space. And I was like, no. Like I want it to be gospel. I want it to be reflective of, who I am as a human, as an artist. I'm Black. I want it to sound Black. Like that's what I want to do. And so we worked together, went back and forth. I'm very involved. I'm a very involved artist. I am, pretty type A. I have been accused of being a perfectionist. And we just went back and forth, and he was very open. Like he's not one of those like that. It is what it is. Like he was very open. So we, experimented with drums, experimented with chords, experimented with all kinds of things. And then when I'm in the studio though, singing, I'm very open to, he's like a master. And I was like, tell me what to do. Like, I'm open. Like, I want to, this to be the best record that it could be. So that process was really cool as well. Cause I was just, got to learn from him quite a bit.
Come on, just to be close to you. Let's be very clear. You took a classic from one of the greats in our space.
Yes.
What when you So walk us through why you even chose to even just remake this classic.
I feel you. I didn't choose it. I mean,
Okay.
I said yes, but I was a part of this project, this documentary called 90s Worship Music, 90s Worship Night. And it was
Mm.
saluting like the Ron Canolis, the Darlene Checks, the Fred Hammonds, and others that were really influential in 90s worship. And they decided to do a soundtrack and asked me to be a part of it. I was very honored to be asked. And they wanted me to do Just to Be Close to You. And I was like, I mean, what do I do with that song? It's so iconic. It's so like you could play it right now and you'll be at the throne room, in the throne room, just like you were back in the day. So I prayed about it and thought about it. And what I decided to do was I wanted to do it my way. And I wanted to provide words as to why we want to be close to God and also like what keeps us from being close to God. And worked with my friend Darian Duncan. He did the music. Like I was like, I wanted to be R&B. Like most of the songs on this record were very not R&B. And I was like, this is me. This is who I am. This is what I love. And they were very receptive to it. And I just wanted it to be just a modern take on this incredible classic song.
Why is that so important to you now? I feel like you are putting an emphasis on making sure that you shifted your music to be more urban R&B-ish, Christian
Yes.
R&B-ish.
Yeah, because that's what I love. Like I mean I love like pop music. Like I remember I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music or mainstream music growing up, but I would at like 9 or 10, I would be at my friend's house, my next door neighbor, and we would just sit and listen to Michael Jackson records. And so
Mm.
those melodies, like that kind of like expansive sound, like that's deep in my spirit. And as I got, older, and able to choose, what I listen to. I mean, I'm a 90s kid. Like I was like Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul,
Mhm.
Far Side, Mary J. Blige. Like I was very much, I love pop music, but gravitated to R&B music. And I think with Out of Eden, we had to balance a little bit more. Or we chose to balance a little bit more. We were, more like a TLC in that could do a Waterfalls and a Scrubs and, kind of run the gamut. But for me, I just wanted to do like I'm like a little, I'm a ratchet Christian, and I just have to have something like holy,
Not the
holy,
right. I'm over here
holy. I'm
dying.
holy. I love the Lord, but I love, I just
I
like
will fight you. I will fight you.
I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. But so I just like something to have a little bit more soul, a little bit more feel to it. So.
You've had the unique experience in like doing collaborations, writing and producing for multiple artists. Layla Hathaway one, just to throw
Yeah.
out there. Talk about the importance of collaborations and doing stuff like that, and how has that shaped the growth in your musical journey?
Yes. So my entire musical journey has been a collaboration, essentially, with Out of Eden, our first record. We were working with Goatee Brothers, Toby, Joey, and Todd. They taught me so much about music and production and songwriting. I mean, nobody um, pours over lyrics like Toby Mac does. He's a true artist. And I learned, like you write a song, that doesn't mean it's done. Like revisit your chorus, see if you can make it better, revisit it a third time, and learned a lot about the craft of songwriting. And then with Out of Eden, it was always a collaboration. It was like I enjoy working with different people. I feel like different people pull different things out of you. And I feel like that's how we, to be churchy for a second, that's how we're called to live. Like we are a body of Christ. And so I don't have everything in me. Like I need other people and I want what God has put in them. And I feel like that way, we make it better. Like it goes harder that way.
All right, before we get you out of here, what you cooking? What you cooking on? I feel like you're sitting on a project, a EP,
Yes.
something over there. What can we expect going into 2025?
So it's crazy talking about Out of Eden. So we just released, it's our 30th anniversary, which is
Okay.
crazy. We put out Lovely Day 30 years ago, and we just released a reimagined version of Lovely Day. and
Okay.
we are doing a full EP to celebrate, ourselves, to honor like what God did with us, to say thank you to the people that have held us down over the years. And so that's scheduled to come out March 2025. At
Okay.
the same time, still working on solo project. It's a little bit slower of a project because I'm very like in my head and just very like want it to be a certain way. So it's taking a little bit longer than expected, but that's also in the works.
Did you call Brandy yet? Did you call her? Did you
I
call her?
did not, but thank you for
Yeah,
reminding
please. I
me.
mean, I just since you cooking on music, I'm just saying, you know what
You
I'm
know
saying?
what I'm saying?
Brandy is a believer, so I think she would love to
Absolutely.
get on that track.
Well, thank you, DJ Focus. I will find somebody that has Brandy's number and make sure they call her.
Listen, we appreciate you, Lisa. Come on and tell the people how to connect with you, follow you on all your social media platforms, and please introduce your latest single.
Absolutely. So you can follow me, _Paper Girl on Instagram, Lisa Nicole on Facebook. Also follow Out of Eden Official on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And you can listen to Lisa Nicole or Out of Eden wherever you stream music. And I would like to introduce my song, my single, Just to Be Close to You. I hope you enjoy it.
Keep it locked. You tune into The Fixx. You know The Fixx is in.